Hello friends, it's the boy wonder himself, Comic Kid 84, coming at you with a new comic haul video. I went to the flea market the other day and I just went in on those dollar bins. So I have just a little dollar bin bonanza to show you guys today. Not displaying any super keys, grail books, anything like that. Just doing what we do. Hitting up flea markets, grabbing up what we like from the dollar bins. So, let's get that started, and let me show you what I picked up. Let's get Robin into the background here. And let's get started with Animal Man. I saw some issues of... Oh wait, there's one behind that. No. Grab some issues of Animal Man. A character that I do like. Cool Grant Morrison work here with Animal Man. Number 8. Number 15. Number 12. And one of my favorite issues of Animal Man that I'm glad I found. I used to have it, but I lost it along the way. Animal Man number 5. Which is just like this absurd kind of story where basically like the Wile E. Coyote gets transported from his Looney Tunes world into the real world, and they write him as like this tragic figure. And it's pretty interesting. Anyway, Animal Man books by Morrison are always a good read and worth a buck a piece in my book. They're in good shape too. Next up, I just grabbed a couple issues of Uncanny X-Force. Really, just because I was digging the Phantom X covers, the female Phantom X covers. Phantom X is one of my favorite X-Men characters, but I haven't really got exposed to the female Phantom X before, so I don't really know what that's about. So I'm probably going to check those out, but cool books that caught my eye. Had to grab them, add them to the collection for a buck a piece. This next one was actually bagged and boarded and had that little sticker on the front. It's the Powerpuff Girls #1 by IDW. And apparently this is a variant. Limited Phantom variant. Exclusive to only 30 stores in the country. Not sure if that means anything or not. I'm not sure how in-demand Powerpuff Girls comics are, but it was cool. Caught my eye. I never really watched much Powerpuff Girls, but I like that they had a little Fantastic Four #1 homage going on here. So, scooped it up for a buck. From there, I picked up a couple of old school Iron Man issues. This first one I got just because the cover caught me for a second and my mind went into the gutter. There's just something about the positions of Iron Man and this gentleman behind him with his arms kind of clenched outwards, perhaps in a thrusting motion. I don't know. And conveniently, Iron Man is saying, "Oh yeah," while he's bent over in front of this gentleman. I don't know, man. That cover just bugged me out, and I had to grab it. I got a kick out of it. I think you know what I'm talking about. From there, I picked up a couple huge keys from Iron Man. Iron Man #194. First appearance of Scourge as a hobo. You know, I don't know if any of you guys out there, I'm sure y'all do, the Key Collectors app. I'm sure you guys, just like me, will dig into books and we jump into a line, Iron Man, you see someone's got a stack of Iron Mans, you pull out your key collector app, you pull up that run of Iron Man, and thumb through and see what kind of keys pop up. So that's what I was doing as I was thumbing through these Iron Man issues. And this one, it was key because it lists first appearance of Scourge, and then in parentheses it says, as a hobo, dressed as a hobo. So I don't know what the fuck that means. And the death of a character, the death of the Enforcer. So Iron Man 194. Next issue, key comic alert. First appearance of the Termite. I'm going to have to read this to see who the hell the Termite is. And what he's doing blasting through a brick wall like that. I would think if he's the Termite, he should be like blasting through a wooden wall or something like that. I'm assuming his power has something to do with destroying wood or consuming wood or something like that. And you damn well believe I'm going to have to find out. I'll keep you posted on the Termite. Next up, this book was really cool actually. This looks like a one-shot comic, Lex Luthor, the unauthorized biography. And clearly, this cover is a swipe on Trump, the Art of the Deal book. I think that's very intentional. So man, that I just got such a kick out of that. To have a Lex Luthor biography swiping the cover of Donald Trump Art of the Deal book. And I noticed when I looked at it, this is the original first print, 1989, but I noticed that this book was also reprinted in 2018, and obviously you know why. Trump is a different man in popular culture now than he was back in 89. But that's kind of funny that, this book was made in reference to Trump back in 89 for one reason, and kind of brought back just recently for a different reason. So that was cool. I thought it was cool that I was able to grab the first print of that, and I was happy with this one, Lex Luthor. Next up is another thicker book. This might be another one-shot. Elseworlds, DC Elseworlds, Master of the Future. This is, it seems like they're billing it as a sequel to Gotham by Gaslight. So I figured it was pretty cool. I did like Gotham by Gaslight. And I just like Elseworlds stories, honestly. DC just definitely does a good job with Elseworlds stories in comparison to like Marvel, who does some of it, but their Elseworlds stuff is, I don't know, Spider-Geddon. I guess the Old Man Logan stuff is kind of an Marvel's Elseworlds, but DC has a pretty high bar with those kind of stories. I mean, Kingdom Come, Red Sun, Gotham by Gaslight, So I have faith in this book. I'm going to check that out. Happy with it for $1. Another thicker one-shot book. A lot of pages for $1. Preacher, one-shot. Cassidy, Blood and Whiskey. Man, I love the Preacher. I was up on Preacher back in the late 90s, or maybe it was early 2000s. Yeah, it was probably early 2000s that I discovered Preacher. And I just, on a whim, happened to pick up a trade paperback of the Preacher, and I just devoured the whole series pretty quickly. So I love the Preacher. I think this might actually have been included in one of the trade paperbacks that I have. So I think I probably own it, collected in a trade, but for $1 I had to grab it. Cassidy's the man, and that cover art is incredible. Next up, these 4 issues of Marvel Masterpieces Joe Jusko art. This is all just art from the Marvel Masterpiece card series. And damn, I was happy to find this. Dude, I love Joe Jusko's work, period. For really, almost what really like started to get me into comics. So I just remember really early in my comic, loving career, I was messing with trading cards, especially Marvel Masterpieces. Those would blow my mind because I had never been exposed to painted comic work before. And it just blew my mind. Going through all the different cards, reading the backs of them, bumping up my knowledge on the characters, secret identity names and their powers and their backstory. I got a lot out of cards back in the day. I feel like they're not really a thing anymore. I believe they do make them, not masterpieces, but there are Marvel cards out there, but I don't know, they're basically irrelevant. But back in my day, they were very relevant, and Marvel masterpieces were the jam. I wish I still had them. But dude, very excited to find these for $1 a piece. Joe Jusko. As a matter of fact, just recently, he's doing covers again. I think he just did a Black Panther cover. Issue number 5? Something like that. Next up, X-Men number 7. And this may not mean much to you, but man, I was hyped when I found this because, I love the early Jim Lee X-Men series. And, I have like the first 15 issues. I like to do that, with a lot of series that I have. I like to have at least the first 10, first 15 of a series that I like. And the one book that I was missing was number 7. And there's not even anything super key about it. I just, man, for whatever reason, could never find this book. I found the damn Omega Red first appearance before, easier than it was to find this one. And obviously I could have grabbed it on eBay and stuff like that, but I always figured, I'm bound to find this damn thing in the wild one day. And sure enough, I did. The completionist in me feels good. I have X-Men number 7 to complete, my first 15 issue run, all consecutive. And the cover is just off the chain. This might be the issue right after. I'm not sure if Omega Red comes in 5 or 6, but obviously this is in that Omega Red storyline. And just, man, incredible cover. Next up, grab an old issue of the Defenders, man. The Defenders number 103, The Haunting. Scooped this one up according to my Key Comic Collector app. This is the first appearance of Null, the Living Darkness. And when I saw that, I was like, hang on. But it's not the Null that we know now in the Venom series. That Null is K-N-U-L-L. This is the Living Darkness Null, N-U-L-L. But it's his first appearance all the same. Grabbed up the Defenders. The last book I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to keep this one pretty short and sweet. Like I said, there was no super gem discoveries. I did pick up 1 or 2 higher end books, but I wanted to keep this one just a dollar bin bonanza. So in that vein, the last book I was able to score for $1, Daredevil number 197. Awesome cover. Daredevil on the streets of, Japan or Tokyo, with Bullseye looming in the background. And this is actually a pretty cool key issue. First appearance of Yuriko, Wolverine's love interest. Yuriko, who goes on to become Lady Deathstrike. So that was a pretty cool find. I was happy to grab that. And that completes the Dollar Bill Bonanza. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your view. If you're not subbed, go ahead and hit that like, comment. It's all much appreciated. I love comics. I love digging through bins. And my new favorite thing is showing what I picked up to you guys. So I hope you enjoy. Peace.